Y'all, Wizard101 just had one of the most chaotic days ever. The topic of the day, of course, is everything that happened today on Wiz on console. Now, the events that we're going to talk about led to a server maintenance that literally happened on console servers just about 20 minutes ago. So this is a super up-to-date video on everything that happened on console servers for everyone that's confused or curious. So let's talk about why Wiz had to do a maintenance all day today. And this kind of started Saturday night, but Saturday night leading into Sunday, a bunch of people started receiving mysterious area is closed errors on console servers. Now, while we don't know, I guess, the exact cause of it, if you've ever encountered this issue before on PC, generally it happens in full realms. And right here is a screenshot from this morning, Sunday morning, of what the realms on console server looked like. That is right. There are so many people playing on Wiz on console right now that the servers are entirely full. And earlier this week, we saw thousands of people being stuck in queue trying to play the game as well. Now, normally on PC, what happens is when you're in a full realm and you go to a new area, the game will naturally put you in crowded realms, or you can even choose to move to a perfect realm so you don't encounter that error message, you don't encounter server lag. But obviously, when all the realms are on the first page, as in this is all the realms that are available in console, that's not even an option, right? So obviously, the whole day, people are encountering this area's closed error. They have to keep relogging in order to quest. Some of them are getting this error in dungeons and they have to restart the dungeon. And y'all already know how the Wizard101 Discord works. There was a plethora of memes. This one, in my opinion, was my favorite, but also a copy pasta, of course. Now, considering it's a Sunday, and considering normally when stuff like this happens on the weekend, you can expect a Monday fix at the earliest. This has just been my experience on PC. I really thought, wow, this is like the first week, looks to be a serious hurdle. I guess we'll have to wait for Monday to see how KingsIsle responds. But that is not what ended up happening. Basically, about an hour into like the peak, I guess, of this error, the servers went down. They actually had not one, but two different people at KingsIsle put messages in the announcements in Discord, right? Like there's a whole channel for console announcement. We had two different people announce when the servers went down, announce how long to expect it, and even announce when the servers were back up. Now, this looks like it was just a server reboot. It only took about 15 minutes, as y'all can tell by the timestamps on this, but after this reboot, people stopped encountering the area's closed message. I'm gonna assume if this message comes back again, it's because the servers have filled up yet again and they're being strained once more. As of the making of this video, it looks like the issues are more or less resolved, but let's talk about the way KingsIsle has responded and what I think they probably need to do to prevent this in the future. First off, I was very, very nervous about this, mainly not even just because, you know, like it's console's first big week, but also in case anybody, I don't know, maybe you've been, you know, not clued in on what's happening, there's a very, very high chance that Darkmoor test ROM drops this week. And we saw from this article that I covered a little bit earlier this week that this might have been somewhat intentional, the whole timing of the official console launch right before what looked to be a very, very early test ROM for a fall update. And I think this is all to say that Wiz took a real gamble on the timing of all of this. A gamble that I don't think a lot of people appreciate, right? Their fall update, it's the biggest all year, right? It is really, really weird to me, even as someone that actually, I would argue, I believe in more in what Wiz is capable of these days compared to most people. It is still weird to me that they timed the console launch, which is like very, very major, right? It's clearly gotten a lot of enthusiasm, but they timed it with the one update of the year that's also very, very big. When these issues happened on a Sunday, my first thought was, wow, this is the big first test. Like, this is a first big test of whether this gamble of timing it all together, getting all of this hype to synchronize, was it worth it? And I think they had two ways to deal with this. One, just say that they were listening to feedback and deal with it on a Monday and inevitably take away resources from Darkmoor test route. Or B, a much, much harder thing, get everyone rallied together on a Sunday where they're not paid to do their job and get things working. And frankly, I think choosing B really requires that you got a lot of people that really want this thing to succeed, whether they get paid or not. It takes a little bit of passion, takes a little bit of doing more than is required of you. Frankly, I can't say in the same position. If I wasn't being paid, would I show up on a Sunday? If this little server reset actually fixes console servers until they have a more long-term solution, that is a very, very big deal. And it would show that they've been doubling down recently on their own capabilities. I don't know what's going on, but even choosing not to add PC progress being saved over to console servers, that in itself is somewhat of a gamble, right? You're not gambling on the existing community. You're gambling that Wiz is good enough to like literally get a whole new community to play it in 2025, right? These console servers and their launch and everything that they've done, gamble after gamble, but it looks like they're trying to meet the challenge. We will see once again. Time will tell if there is something that they can do to make this easier, because I can't see them keeping this pace and being on top of every fire every single time, simply because it's so goddamn chaotic. I mean, I posted the memes and the copy pasta at the beginning of this video, right? But like, if y'all were there, it looked like what the cavemen must have been feeling when the first wildfire was raging. Not to call the Wiz community cavemen, not to even call a small server issue as probably small in the grand scheme of things, a goddamn wildfire. But you guys get it, right? It just felt like everyone's freaking out. How much of that can they do while servers for, you know, Dark Mode test realm also have to be up? Right? It is a lot, but I will be honest, if it's something that they can meet and they're able to meet it, goddamn, we gotta give them props for this. What I would love KingsOwl to do just tomorrow or the day after, something kind of soon, I'd love an announcement of what they're going to be doing so that server like consistency can be a little bit better. I think there's been a ton of people loving how the game feels on console, but the one thing that does seem to be a little bit unreliable are servers. Are there plans for more servers so that when there's a full realm, you get moved into emptier realms, right? Right now, you got like what, 6 pages and of realms, and like I guess you have 4 full pages of perfect realms on PC. Are there plans for this on console? I feel like that would be great. If they're really interested in transparency, I'd love to know if the limiting factor here is cost. Is the limiting factor like with PlayStation and Xbox? What is the limiting factor? What is Wiz doing to overcome that? I feel like that type of messaging, especially from someone that, you know, maybe works at KingsOwl and knows how these issues work, I would love that. Now, normally when people ask for transparency and like, you know, a message from the bigger ups at Wiz, normally it's because they've done something so bad that it warrants a response. I don't think it needs to be that kind of thing. This is clearly an issue that is bad, but they dealt with it on a Sunday. But I think it would go the full extra mile if we could just know like what the future of this is. You know, is there a timeline for when we can expect these issues to be fully resolved? Or is the server reset that they just did, is that all we need to expect? Maybe just a 15-minute maintenance period every now and then, anytime servers feel like they're a little bit strained. Is that just something to expect? And honestly, if you ask me, that's a small price to pay for servers that work. Right, that type of transparency, I think it would go a long way, because the big questions in the console chat among all the chaos was, what is causing this issue? What is Wiz gonna do about it? Overall, the big TLDRs out of this video, it's definitely, if you ask me, as someone that's played the game for a lot of time and encountered this issue, it's almost certainly a server load issue. It looks like Wiz has responded on a Sunday. We don't know to what degree this will help long term, but overall, y'all, I think the big takeaway outside of all of this is there is still so much enthusiasm for Wiz that the servers are overloaded. It's a good thing and a bad thing, of course, but I think as long as you know that that's a cause of the issue, maybe it's not the worst news. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Let me know what y'all's first week and a half on console has felt like, and do y'all think that this is something that you're even used to in terms of how KingsOwl's responded so quickly? I look forward to reading all of y'all's thoughts. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a sub if you're new, and as always, if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. Stay awesome, y'all. See y'all soon, and yeah.